Hey, Paul.
Yes. There he is. Hello, hello. How are you?
Good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. Where in the world are you today?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay, good. Yeah, you guys are both over there. All right.
Mhm.
Well, I'm here in Dallas, where the Chosen does a lot of filming, but not all of it. So Catherine and I were just catching up and saying that you guys, of course, you're on the show together, but you actually didn't meet there or here in Texas, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
met
that's right.
in Santa Barbara, right? I don't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we first
Yeah.
met in that little room, where our holding room, which was
Yeah.
basically
Oh, that's a holding room. That's right.
just the bed, basically.
Yeah, it was a bed and a dresser and a closet. We had some hangers. That was nice.
Yeah.
Maybe a
Yeah,
foldable
pleasant
chair.
surprise to to find out that Catherine was on The Chosen. That was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
small
uh
world.
which now of course is going into season four. So and on every single platform and on the big screen and all these countries and languages. It's pretty nuts phenomenon, right?
I know. Pretty wild.
Yeah, but very exciting. And so now of course we got a little bit more Jesus, a different one, a singing Jesus, which we didn't
I
expect,
know.
but
Be great.
and who knew Jesus had such a nice voice here,
I
but
know.
but
That's a great
this
point.
this one was a lot of fun to watch it and kind of took some unexpected turns. And so when you get a script like this, you must be thinking, "Oh, I got to do this, right?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's, I mean,
absolutely.
me.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
go, go,
Catherine.
go, go.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's a unique, quirky film. There's nothing else like it out there. It's a nice blending together of like a modern family drama paired with the biblical tale of Jesus's last 47 days on earth, telling the Easter story. And I think we do it in a way that is both welcoming to parents and children. The children will have a good opportunity to learn the Easter story through something as gentle as music and dance. And then the parents will have something very relatable as well when it comes to the work life, family life balance conundrum.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think when I was just in love with, I used to call it the Jesus musical when we were filming it. I was like, I gotta go to the Jesus musical now. But it's a super fun way to approach the gospel. And I just like that it really seamlessly weaves in the modern day story with these eternal stories from, 2000 years ago. So
Yeah. Well, and that was always the strange part about church and probably for a lot of people and thinking about these times that were so long ago, but the people were kind of the same, and that's the disconnect in some of those stories. You just think, oh, it was so long ago, they didn't understand how we are now, but it's kind of the same thing. We're kind of going through the same stuff we always have been, right?
right, right. So many things just never change. Human nature, it's always the same. So
Yeah. So my friend likes to say, the humans will human. And that's
true.
just what happens. So
Pretty
this
accurate.
one looked like, yeah. So this one looks like it was a lot of fun to film, and some movies, as we know, are not. But this one looked like you guys really had a good time with it. Was there a certain day or scene or time that kind of just stood out to you? So you're kind of looking around, going, "No, I'm always going to remember this one."
Yoshi, I'm remembering that one that you mentioned recently. It was when we were in the car and they had set up this amazing light display because we had to change. Oh my gosh, that's right. We were supposed to shoot a certain scene in the daytime and our generator broke while we
Uh,
were on the freeway getting the footage. And so they tried everything they could to fix it and we were losing daylight. And we had to change the whole mock up of the scene to be a night driving scene. And then so we just set up shop right outside the ranch we were filming at. They did this amazing light display. It was crazy. And our director at the time had an eye patch on because three of us had caught some sort of virus that was going around. And he was directing us with an eye patch. And because we had to like have the windows open for the glare or whatever, or the lighting, there were just monstrous insects flying into the car with the children the entire time. And I can't tell you how many times people broke and we were going over time and it was just a mess. Like we got through it. It was beautiful and everybody was just awesome to work with, but oh my goodness, I think that's maybe one of my most memorable moments from set.
Yeah, sometimes acting isn't this glamorous thing that people
Yeah.
think it is. We got two crew members simulating like, turbulence in the car, so they're shaking
Yeah.
the car. We got kids in the back seat freaking out because of these flying monsters, and Catherine and I can barely breathe because we're both sick. So that's
Yes.
sometimes what acting is.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that was
Well,
wild.
you'll
And
never
then you
forget it,
got
right?
and then you got to sell it that you're just like, it's the end of the movie and you're this happy family who just figured it all out and you're looking at each other like, yeah, this is good life, And then
Yeah.
between takes, we're like, oh.
I feel like
Well,
it was like Jurassic Park level insects flying into the car.
wow.
It
Like
was quite a
locusts from
challenge.
the Bible or something,
Yeah,
right?
it was insane. Totally nuts. We did it though. Good job, Yosh.
Wow. Well, you guys really sold it then. I didn't know about that. That's wild. Well,
Oh, good.
and that's the thing though, people look up at these screens and they think, this is what I want to do. And just much like you probably did at some point in your life. What advice now that you're in it, would you give to somebody who's looking to do exactly what it is that you guys are doing?
Of just acting or doing
Yeah.
faith-based stories?
Hmm.
Oh gosh.
I would
I would,
I would
yeah, you
say,
go.
yeah, I would just say, um, I would say just if there's anything else that you can do that because acting is a lot of fun. It's very rewarding when you're working, but we talked about this recently in another interview, but like, a big part of acting is waiting, waiting for a call, waiting for an opportunity, and that can drive you mad. So unless you're willing to put up with that and you have the motivation to fill those downtimes with other creative endeavors, writing your own scripts and making yourself knowledgeable in other ways. Just know that if you're choosing this career path, that's part of the gig. There's going to be big gaps of time where you're feeling like you're worthless because you're not working, and that's part of this journey. So if you can put up with that and fill that time with something that's going to make you a smarter individual, a more well balanced artist, then yeah, give it a go, but be prepared for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I had to talk to my younger self, there's like a million things I would say. And actually, that's one of the first things I heard from whether it was like a college course or a theatrical teacher telling us something like that. Like, if there's anything else you could imagine yourself doing, do that. Um, and unfortunately for, I guess, the both of us, we were not successful at finding another alternative because this is so hard. But if I could go back, I would do so many things differently. Like, I would have saved up money before I moved to a foreign city and like tried to make a life out here. Like, I would have, people get like full-time jobs and they save up for 2 years and then they move to a place. Like, I, I would say the biggest thing though is probably have your moral compass in order, know who you are and what stories you want to tell. Because once you get here, everyone is going to try with their own agenda to have you tell their stories. And that's fine in some cases. And sometimes that's even a moment of growth and it really yields something beautiful. But I think you've got to sort of have your head on your shoulders when you come to this town, because a lot of people are going to try to pull you in different directions. And if you have a purpose, which I think all of us do, that is what should be always the priority. So that's my number one
Yeah.
piece of advice.
Yeah. Well, that's so well said too, because that does happen a lot. And part of that is kind of keeping that mindset. The success mindset that we talk about on the show. Like, whether you're feeling it or not, you kind of have to put yourself in there. Whether they're locusts flying around or you're sick, or it doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
got to keep going. And so,
Yeah.
is there something that you kind of tell yourself to kind of put you in that right frame of mind, even when things are tough?
Ooh.
I think you just have to I mean, it's just like any other gig at the end of the day. You have to be, as prepared as possible. And then sort of just a big part of it is surrendering. It's never going to be what you imagined it to be. Like, however you pictured the scene going, it's not going to go that way. So there's a big part
That's
of what
true.
we do is surrendering to the flow of things and just sort of being present and listening and reacting honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well
I
said.
think if you're facing hardship, which we all do throughout life, whether or not you're in this business, I think remembering that why, the purpose behind everything is good. And also, yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been faith. Like whenever something doesn't work out, there's a really great phrase that I use that a friend of mine gave me, which is rejection is God's protection. And so
Hmm.
when you are not given an opportunity, there could be a much greater reason why. And sometimes you just have to trust. And yes, because it's a waiting game, I would also just say every time you feel uh I've had random pieces of advice like after an audition you should always schedule something else, like go get ice cream or do a hike or whatever thing will bring your soul joy, because the work is one thing, but you also have to take care of yourself and make sure that you're protecting your heart, because it is such a heart-based industry and it's very easy to take things personally when really it might not have anything to do with you.
Yeah, that is true.
Just
Well,
just not too much ice cream though, right?
No,
yes.
yeah, exactly. You gotta make sure you're healthy, still healthy.
Yeah. I love it. Well, and so there's a lot to get out of this movie, and depending on what you believe in or what you've been through, there's a lot that people will talk about. What is it that you're hoping that people will discuss or think about or take away after this?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a multi-layered film. For me, some of the things that fascinated me about the script was the ambiguity of sacrifice and how
Hmm.
easy it is to think you're doing a selfless act when really there's a kernel of selfishness, lodged into the base of your motivations, and and that was an interesting thing to explore, and furthermore, sort of like the seasonal aspect of scripture and how in the winter it's like when things are dying away, but that opens the door for the spring to come, which is the Easter story of rebirth and regeneration. And I think our film does a great job of displaying the biblical tale of that rebirth, coinciding with the rebirth of this family, and how they have to let some things go so that they can once again rekindle their relationship.
Hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful. I feel like the
Yeah.
the biggest through line for me was the introspection and the forgiveness, right? We all have these
Mhm.
seasons where we get lost in something or we make a wrong decision and then we try to justify it or give our own reasons for why we're doing things that might be somewhat true, but are eliminating other people's feelings in the process of defending ourselves. And so I think this story is just encouraging because it gives each character a moment to consider, am I looking at this the wrong way? What could I do better? How can I be more loving? And, I think all of that is a result of having a beautiful gospel story where we realize we are loved. And so we can give the same love we've received.
Yeah. Ah, man, so well said. Well, we're definitely gonna tell everyone to check out the film. We really, really enjoyed it. Before we let you go, is there anything else coming up that we should know about for me guys? Because I can't wait to see what you got next for us.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, Yoshi has a pretty cool thing he wants to share, I think, and then I can tell
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the only thing worth sharing at this point is I'm going to be making my directorial debut on the theater stage, and so
Good.
I'm going to be directing an original piece that me and my writing partner wrote. Nothing, no details on that yet, but
Yeah.
hopefully in the next 6 months or so we'll be able to get some chosen fans and some fans of this film into the theater to watch us do our thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Congrats. Congrats
And
on
then the second half of episode or the theatrical release of Chosen, I'll be my character will be joining the storyline on the 15th of, I don't know when this comes out, but the 15th of February and the 29th of February, our theatrical release will feature the Mary Lazarus Martha storyline. So that's exciting. And I have a beautiful short film that I co-produced and was a lead in, and it's award winning and it's swept the festival circuit. And now it's being featured on Omeletto Comedy, and that's called Along Came a Callback. So you guys can check it out there.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you both so much for being with us. Really appreciate your time and the beautiful answers, and look forward to talking to both of you again soon. And we're going to be keeping an eye out on that play.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Paul.
you so
Appreciate
much.
the
All right,
time.
thanks so
Thanks for
much. We'll
having
see you
us.
soon. Okay,
Great
bye.
chat.
Sure.
Bye.